2021 has seen some new manga start to take the internet by storm and breathe new life into the community discussing these great ongoing works. If you want to join that discussion but aren't sure what current manga you should really check out, then I've got some recommendations for you. Here are 10 great, relatively new ongoing manga that you should give a try. At number 10, we have Sakamoto Days. This is the story of a legendary spy who retired and now works with their family in a convenience shop. They've stepped away from their previous violent ways and have sworn never to kill again. However, when their old life starts to bleed into their new one, they end up having to defend their current peaceful life without being able to go all out. So this gives the manga a funny twist where the main character is struggling to find ways to win without killing anyone, and it leads to some really creative action. Okay, so the action's really well done, but the real star of the show is how funny this manga is. The whole retired spy setup leads to a ton of weird scenarios, and the cast of likable characters kept me laughing and turning the pages. But what gets you truly invested besides the comedy and action though, is that the family all have some really compelling relationships that lead to really heartwarming moments that make these characters have depth beyond just being funny. Check this one out if you're a fan of manga like Spy X Family and want another series that has great spy-related comedy and action. Skaters by Hajime Tojitsuki is my new favorite sports manga. I can't believe there hasn't really been a super well done skateboarding manga before this, but as the first of its kind, Skaters really sets the bar high. The art conveys the complex movements of the skateboard tricks so well and does a great job of explaining the tricks and all the skill it takes to pull them off. So this makes it a great read for people with no skateboarding knowledge, but it's also good for skating superfans because of how well it depicts skate culture. This manga really nails the cool allure of skateboarding, and its main character's journey to become a better skater and learn new tricks hits all the beats of a well-done sports manga. This one will hook you with its cool art initially, but you'll stay for how well the sense of progression is conveyed and the well-thought-out character development. So check this one out if you're a skater boy and she said see you later boy, or if you just want to see a more unconventional subject tackled in a sports-style manga. So over the years, we've seen a million plays on the Power Rangers / Super Sentai type of story, but somehow Ranger Reject manages to tell a really fresh take on that formula. In this world, the Rangers and villains are real, but their fights for the last 13 years have been just a performative show for the public. This is because the Rangers have an overwhelming power that the villains can never hope to defeat, but the weak villains are also immortal, so they can never really be fully defeated either. This has led to a standstill where the villains are forced to fight every week and put on a performance that makes the Rangers look good. What makes this premise even more interesting is that we mostly see it from the perspective of a grunt villain. After being tired of losing every week for 13 years, they plan to disguise themselves as human and infiltrate the ranks of the Rangers. This leads to some tense and thrilling moments and really interesting plot twists. I can't wait to see where they take this premise and what they might reveal about the nature of this world in the future. Because of its great art, pacing, and premise, I think this one might actually become really popular soon. Definitely check this one out if you want to see an interesting twist on an old formula that's a solid read even if you've never cared about Power Rangers. Have you ever watched a cute raccoon video and kinda wished you had one of those big boys as a pet? Well, you can live vicariously through the main character of this manga, Ameto Kimito. She adopts a tanuki thinking it's a dog, despite the fact that it can talk to her through writing. This is just a super cute and hilarious manga about the different hijinks and the slice-of-life moments that this character has with her weird pet. This is the perfect cute slice-of-life comedy that's good to read when you're winding down before bed and need something cozy. The art is actually really impressive though for a slice-of-life style manga, and some chapters go for a less comedic slant and just develop the characters. So that makes it so there are some elements that elevate this above just being another typical gag slice-of-life manga. So check this one out if you want something cute and wholesome to read as a palate cleanser. Okay, this one is super new and has only a few chapters out, but Tesla Note is incredibly promising. The manga opens on a really interesting mystery where a train that was speeding down the track suddenly warped into the sky above the center of a town due to some mysterious circumstances. We follow a group of special agents investigating this strange occurrence, and the mysteries only seem to get more and more interesting as we go. It seems like the warp that caused this train to teleport had something to do with a strange invention by Nikola Tesla, hence the name Tesla Note. This weird tie to the real world helps build this manga's strange atmosphere and adds a little bit more intrigue to its mysteries. However, it doesn't rely on this as a gimmick, and the core of the mysteries are really solid regardless of any gimmicky type stuff surrounding them. The art for this one is actually really stunning, and for a manga so focused on mystery, it's surprising that the action is also really well illustrated. I think the strong hook, great art, art and tight pacing will make this one explode in popularity soon. Definitely give this manga a shot because these first few chapters will leave you wanting more and they'll grip you from the very first few pages. So check this one out if you like supernatural mystery stories that also have thrilling action set pieces. Okay, up next we've got DRCL Midnight Children, and I know what a lot of you are thinking. Is this the sequel to Fulkle? Okay, enough jokes. DRCL Midnight Children is an adaptation of the original Dracula novel by Bram Stoker, and it looks to be a really interesting take on the source material. The first thing that will grab most people about this one is the stellar artwork that has more detail on one page than some manga have in a whole chapter. It's incredibly impressive what they've done, and it really serves the story well because it helps build the atmosphere and really sells the scary moments. This manga does a great job of building suspense and tension, and by the end of the first chapter, I guarantee you'll be hooked by its last page reveal. The mysteries of this world and the weird, unique take on the vampire story only continues to get more and more intriguing as it goes, so I think this one will develop into quite the interesting story in the future. Check this one out if you want to see some incredibly detailed art in a suspense-filled story. Okay, so now you might have heard of this one because it's exploding in popularity recently, but hey, there's a reason why. Kaijuu number 8 is really good. Much like Ranger Rejects, it's an interesting twist on a classic formula, but this time with kaiju stories. We first start this story following a member of the cleanup crew who clean the aftermath of a kaiju battle. One of the cleaners, who's our main character, has always had dreams since they were a kid of joining the ranks of those who fight kaiju, but they've lost hope after so many failed attempts at the exam. However, after seeing their childhood friend who's become one of the kaiju fighting elites and being inspired by their young coworker, they decide to give it one more shot. However, before the exam, a tiny kaiju who got overlooked infects the main character and turns them into a super powerful kaiju. This sets up a really fun premise where they have to balance hiding their new strength while they continue to try to become a hero. The vibe of this one is a pretty standard shonen affair, but this manga is filled with great characters, incredibly well-drawn action, and enough interesting mysteries to keep you hooked. So check this one out if you want a super solid shonen manga that has a unique premise and tight pacing. Okay, this one isn't that new, but I still wanted to highlight it just for how great it is. Asadora is the latest manga from Naoki Urasawa, who is one of my favorite authors. Asadora is a story that's going to span decades and looks like it's going to really take its time to build up an epic story. At the beginning though, it really slowly builds as it focuses on a young girl and how her and an older man struggle after a natural disaster hits. Then after so many chapters of focusing solely on having compelling characters and emotional moments, the manga drops this bombshell reveal in chapter 8. A mystery surrounding a massive monster starts to unravel as hints and clues and different character perspectives all build towards a deeper mystery. Naoki Urasawa has taken all the lessons from his previous manga and crafted another classic in the making with Asadora. I really can't wait to see where this already amazing story goes in the future. Check this one out if you love mysteries and enjoy a slow build. Adou is a super promising manga that's reminiscent of Akira. It deals with kids who have gained supernatural powers due to government experiments and the mysteries surrounding that. And all this is taking place along the backdrop of a slightly dystopian, futuristic Tokyo. The story follows a kid who has escaped from a secret government testing facility and is on the run. Their story becomes entwined with a woman who has a headstrong attitude who just wants to help them. But once the government starts to track these two down though, all hell breaks loose as they have to run and fight using the kid's plant-based powers and the woman's sharp wit. Things get harder and harder for them as they become public enemy number 1, and even another kid from the secret facility is sent to take them down. The well-drawn action and emotion combined with the plot full of mystery and intrigue has this manga shaping up to be a cyberpunk classic with incredible pacing and atmosphere. So check this one out if you're a fan of Akira or other cyberpunk stories and you want to see a modern take on that style. Mashle is another manga that's really picking up steam and popularity, and I can see why. It's one of the funniest manga I've ever read. If you're looking for something after finishing One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 100, definitely check this one out. Like those two, it's absolutely hilarious, but still has a gripping story and compelling characters. Mashle takes place in a world of magic users where anyone who can't use magic is seen as lower than human. Deep in the remote forest of this world, our main character Mash Vanded has been raised in solitude by his grandfather. Mash is unable to use magic, so his granddad has shielded him from the world of magic users, and in order to prepare Mash for the future, he's had him train his muscles to an inhuman extreme. When Mash is finally found out for being a non-magic user, he's attacked, and in defending him and his grandpa, it becomes apparent that his overwhelming physical strength can rival any powerful magic. The magicians that are attacking them realize that they can't really defeat Mash, but what they can do is blackmail them by threatening to reveal their identity, which would put their grandpa in danger. So they end up pressuring Mash to climb the ranks at the Magic Academy so they can later use him to serve their own ends. What ensues is a hilarious story where Mash has to pretend they can't use magic by compensating with their extreme physical abilities. This manga really has it all. It's absolutely hilarious, it has a legitimately gripping story, and it's just dang good. So check this one out if you're a fan of manga by one, or if you just want something to laugh at with good action. Okay, so there's 10 great ongoing manga that you can check out, but because these are still ongoing, if any of these turn out to become terrible, let me know in the comments so I can apologize by doing a playthrough of Shrek's box for every one that ends up sucking. Anyways, hope you enjoyed these new manga to check out, and please let me know any good ongoing manga that you've been reading in the comments. I'll definitely be doing more manga recommendation videos in the future, so subscribe if you want to see that. If you want some completed manga to check out, you can watch my 2 top 10 short manga videos for some more gems. That's all I've got for now, so thanks so much for watching and I hope you have a great day.